Hi there. Today I'm going to talk about how to study so you can achieve the best results. Sometimes we only care about what kind of exercise we have to study to improve our guitar skills. And we often forget that how to study is as important as the type of exercise you choose. Two people with the same skill level practicing the same musical piece for equal time can get very different results depending on how it's done. So first of all, we have to understand that when we are studying, we are actually training our brain to perform certain movements with our hands and fingers. In this process, we use parts of our brain that have nothing to do with reason. Our brain cannot choose what information it should or should not store. In other words, our brain gives back what you give it. For example, I'm sure you tie your shoes exactly the same way you learned when you were a child. It shows how strongly the information is stored in your brain, but it also raises another question. How would it be if you had learned the most difficult way to tie your shoes? You would probably spend more time and effort than necessary. If this happens when tying your shoes, it's not a big problem, but it's a huge problem when it comes to playing a musical instrument. So if the brain has the ability to learn movements without questioning, we have to be smart enough to take control and give it the best information. And I'd like to give you some advice about how to do it. First, be sure you are playing the correct notes with the correct fingers and with good positioning of arms and hands. Everything starts here, okay? Second, never play so fast you can lose control, okay? It's a really bad idea. Third, if you are studying a musical piece or practicing some exercise and you make a mistake, please never go back to the beginning. I will show you what I mean. If you are practicing something like this, okay, and at some point you make a mistake, and you go back to the beginning and make the same mistake, and you go back to the beginning and make the same mistake. If you go back to the beginning and make the same mistake over and over again, what are you teaching for your brain? To make the same mistake, I think. The best is to investigate why the mistake happened. Make the necessary changes. So if I was practicing and I made the mistake in this point, I have to understand why I made the mistake, make the necessary changes, and fix the part by playing slowly and consciously. In that way, you are giving the best information for your brain. Finally, an advice to help you to practice difficult chord changes. If you are playing something like this, if you have to play something like this, okay, and you have difficult to make this chord change, okay, you can separate the movements in two types, those made by the fingers and those made by the arm. So first build both of chords in the same region. This shape close to the next chord. And first try to understand what kind of movements your fingers should do to get the best result. So from this shape to this shape, from this shape to this shape. So practice enough to understand and get the necessary skill to do it. And then add the movement of the arm. You can do it progressively. First, close to each other, and increasing the distance step by step. Until you get the chord in the correct position. Okay? So, all of this can be summarized in a funny way. If you don't teach your brain to make mistakes, it will not know how to do these mistakes. And even so, mistakes happen because we are human beings. So, feel free to make a comment, to ask questions, and don't forget to put these recommendations into practice. Okay? Good studies, and see you.